Well, today is a very special anniversary. Yep, lamest insurrection ever. All of this as today we have the certification of Donald J. Trump as the next president of the United States, done, of course, by Kamala Harris, as the FBI just recently released some very interesting video footage that makes you wonder what's really going on here, as there's some people saying that there could be a gay-surrection that could happen at any moment, at any time. Will it? Well, of course, we'll be talking about that, as well as the larger kind of historical context of today in a real, honest way that doesn't, of course, include a lot of the propaganda, disinformation, and psyops surrounding it, as, of course, it is a major milestone that 4 years ago was a little tumultuous, as the question still remains about the larger involvement of the federal government in all of this, as just a couple minutes ago, Congress has convened and is certifying the presidential vote. Kamala Harris is out there greeting, shaking hands with the new members of the U.S. government. Some of them just, I guess, don't want to shake her hands at all, as other people have created these fake AI videos of her easing away her kind of pain and suffering, as she is the one, as the vice president of the United States, that will be certifying everything. As the drunk Republican on Twitter put it, J6, Kamala Harris has to certify the election, as Justin Trudeau just stepped down. It's officially, there are now 13 days of Christmas. As we have to remember, it was also Kamala Harris that literally compared the events on J6 to Pearl Harbor.
Dates that instantly remind all who have lived through them, democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
Oh, Lordy, as that echo now became a major whimper, as it doesn't ring the same way, especially after there was a lot of concerted efforts by a lot of populist Make America First Republicans to release the actual footage of what really happened on that particular day, as a lot of people saw people literally just walking around. As Norm MacDonald's tweet about this definitely was pretty epic, as he says, quote, "I loved when the violent terrorists made sure to respect the velvet ropes in the statuary hall." As MSNBC also detested, how dare they walk in an unsupervised visit and fashion to the U.S. Capitol without getting a ticket first. As they were live streaming, people calmly kind of strolling in there, as of course, the event wasn't all peaceful, obviously. Yes, there were clashes. Yes, there was fights. Yes, there was assaults. And yes, in some instances, there were some people breaking in. But also, there's a lot of people literally opening up the doors and allowing people just to stroll on in. There was police officers literally guiding people and walking with them, saying, "Hey, can you guys leave?" And people were like, "Oh, yeah, sure, no worries, yeah, okay." As this sentiment on MSNBC really highlighted the lunacy and the all-out terror and panic that invoked the left.
People going right through, there they are.
And our
in Statuary Hall. Now that is the area.
Is that the Walt Whitman camera that's capturing those? I believe.
No.
Whitman statue.
I'm not sure whether that's the Walt Whitman camera, but what that is the area where the senators process to go into House for joint sessions. So it is through there that they walk.
Unbelievable.
Every time they go into the
This as to add to the kind of traumatic fervor that all the left was dealing with, we had, of course, the pipe bomb that was conveniently left outside of the DNC, with the FBI kind of being flabbergasted and totally unable, even though this was done in one of the most heavily surveilled areas on the earth, to find out who exactly left this larger pipe bomb outside the DNC headquarters. As of course, they even went as far as to offer a $500,000 reward, as now the FBI, just as a couple days ago, released this new footage that they were sitting on for 4 years. As the question kind of remains here, why were you sitting on footage for 4+ years and not releasing it to the general public, especially when it comes to trying to identify, find this larger suspect that just went completely missing? Which, of course, added to a lot of the speculation and assertions by people who thought that this was absolutely fishy. Absolutely sketchy, as a lot of people have pointed to the probability of larger Fed involvement here throughout all of this that could explain why this manhunt was unsuccessful, and still to this day, this larger lunatic or federal agent, who knows, was still not found. As the question still remains, how many undercover government agents were involved in all of this, whether as confidential informants, agent provocateurs, or just boots on the ground here, as there's a lot of really sketchy video footage, specifically with Capitol Police officers uncuffing what looks like to be a Fed informant, fist bumping him after getting rid of the handcuffs on him, letting them go. There's also a lot of other video footage showing federal agents literally showing their badges really quick in the midst of all the chaos. As the federal government always kind of insisted, I didn't do nothing. I don't know how many people were taking part in this that were on our payroll that are a part of the federal government, as individuals like Tucker Carlson that were personally looking into this came out and said that the chief of police at the Capitol literally told them that the crowd on J6 was, quote, filled with federal agents.
Years, it becomes really obvious that core claims they made about January 6th were lies. And my view about events and about people is, if you catch someone telling a lie about one thing, the first question you have is, what else are you lying about? If you say to your wife, where were you? I was at the grocery store. If you find out she was not at the grocery store, then it raises, okay, probably not just lying about being at the grocery store, were you? Like, what is this exactly? Why were you lying about that? And that's kind of the way I feel about January. Like, what is this? They're clearly lying. That's provable.
As Matt Gaetz, when he was still a congressman, during public hearings, literally confirmed that the FBI had undercover officers, confidential informants, and other FBI assets that were present at the U.S. Capitol on J6. Exactly how many? Well, we still do not know exactly, to the larger participation of the federal government in what many people have believed to be a larger setup of them that allowed for the politicization of the justice system within the last 4 years that went after, prosecuted a lot of individuals for clearly just their political ideology. As of course, not surprisingly, the corporate media conveniently failed to ask those hard questions to the people in authority, as they were carrying water for them, specifically about this particular issue, and hyperbolically, sensationalistically fear-mongering about it for the last 4 years. And for me, it looks like overwhelmingly that larger kind of PSYOP effort didn't work, as the majority of people in the United States overwhelmingly voted for Donald J. Trump, highlighting how the propaganda didn't work here. A lot of people are sick of it, including potentially even Mother Nature.
Ready? Since the January 6th attack on the US Capitol, when supporters of Donald Trump stormed this building, trying to prevent the election victory of Joe Biden from being certified. On the anniversary. Oh my God. Oh God, Sam.
Anniversary of January 6th. You can see the acting there, the specific kind of tone, the layer of propaganda that is absolutely laid on very thick here. As of course, it doesn't just stop with the corporate media, as U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland literally just released a statement declaring that 5 officers lost their life on January 6th. And as my friend Tim Pool calls it out, saying he's full of doo-doo. He said it in a different way. As he says, there's 5 officers that lost their lives as a result of January 6th, a stroke that was deemed natural cause, and 4 people that decided to take their lives afterwards. As the only person that really lost their life here, as pointed out by the quartering, is Ashley Babbitt, that was murdered by a Capitol Police officer in cold blood, as a cop literally shot and took the life of an unarmed woman. And for some reason, liberals call them a hero. As these images still should be left with us with the ridiculousness of this entire scenario, as AOC, of course, tried to milk in on the fear propaganda, as we here as independent media never fell for it. As of course, we've been reporting accurately about this event from the very beginning, especially with a lot of people that were there on the ground, especially when it comes to a lot of the people that, of course, survived it, lived through it, that had to deal with the brunt of the Department of Justice breathing down around their necks. And if you appreciate the work that we have done on this very key issue that we are vindicated on, support us on LukeUnfiltered.com, where you get really incredible, awesome behind-the-scenes videos that are only available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. You get in real-life meetups, 3 master classes, and we're doing a range day this February 1st. For details, sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. Get in there, and you get a lot of really cool little tidbits, a lot of really cool things, but more importantly, videos towards making you the best, strongest version of yourself. We're going to be revamping our entire media strategy, and you guys will get more involved than ever, as of course, I go out there and I personally make sure to contact you guys, to meet you guys. And some of the people that I have met have been absolute salt of the earth, amazing people that are still with me and are now my friends. One of them literally helped build this entire studio for us just through a meetup that we did through LukeUnfiltered.com. We're going to be doing more meetups, all exclusively through LukeUnfiltered.com. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up right now, as of course the information war is only getting heated up, and we need your support more than ever. Sign up right now. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. It's just 8 cents a day, and it means the world to us that, of course, you sign up, as this is the one true way that we are still able to be here for you. This, as the craziness is just beginning, especially with politicians like AOC that are set to, of course, be the, quote, new resistance, as we can't forget that about 4 years ago, she came out with these nonsensical, crazy statements when she wasn't even at the U.S. Capitol. She was at the Cannon building adjacent to the U.S. Capitol, and then had this to say about the event.
I didn't think that I was just going to be killed. I thought other things were going to happen to me as well.
So what sounds like what you're telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to...
Yeah, I thought I was.
The delusion, the grandeur, the victimhood, the grandstanding, holy cow. As she wasn't even there, and her time frame of the issues with the salacious details of a man knocking, saying, "Where are you? Where are you?" was literally a police officer helping her out. As CNN also isn't happy about this latest turnaround psychologically of everything that's been kind of unfolding in this country, as they report 4 years after his supporters invaded the U.S. Capitol, Trump is now more powerful than ever. This is the same network that called BLM riots that burned down entire city blocks and took the lives of 36 people, mostly peaceful but fiery. As seriously, when you compare the BLM riots to the J6 riot, there's no comparison here, especially when it comes to the devastation, the life loss, and for one to be put up on a pedestal and to be so flagrantly manipulated emotionally to, of course, have political favor among the left is just sickening, in my opinion. As, of course, it is an inversion of our modern-day reality. This, as Donald Trump is also set to pardon a lot of the J6ers who, in my opinion, have absolutely already done their time. As The Guardian uses this unflattering photo to talk about how horrible and dangerous it is that he's going to be letting hardened criminals, and they're not hardened criminals. A lot of these people, some of them did make mistakes, some of them did commit crimes, but I think 4 years of jail for, let's just say, breaking and entering into a building is a little crazy. 4 years in jail for a first-time offense is a little crazy. 4 years in jail for property destruction is a little crazy. And I think it's fair to say, especially with the horrendous, horrible, torturous conditions that a lot of these people had to go through, it's been enough. And we should free them, and we should liberate them, since, of course, every step of the way here, there was political prosecution on these individuals that didn't look at their crimes, but looked at their political affiliation and decided to punish them for it. Enough is enough. And, of course, I agree with Donald Trump, who is vowing to pardon a lot of these people. As some people within his administration are saying that this is going to be a case-by-case basis, other people are saying there should just be a blanket pardon here. And just talking to some of the people that were affected here, like the lectern guy, who, by the way, I've interviewed a number of times, is one of the most genuine, most awesome, honest people that I have ever met. And for him to spend 75 days in federal prison, to be fined, to have an ankle bracelet on, to be extorted because he literally picked up a podium and then just moved it into a different location, didn't even steal it, is absolutely ridiculous. As of course, Enrique Tarrio's lawyer just sent a letter to Donald Trump asking him for a pardon, as it's important to note here that the DOJ literally tried to get Enrique Tarrio to flip on Donald Trump and to lie about him, to say that he was the one orchestrating the J6 events. Enrique Tarrio refused to do that, and then of course they threw the book at him, as prosecutors were literally saying, hey, we'll free you, we'll totally let you loose, you won't go to jail if you just tell everyone it was Donald Trump that orchestrated all of this. And Enrique Tarrio said no. That's the type of level of prosecution that we were dealing with, that was just hell-bent on trying to destroy Donald Trump and his supporters. As again, I still await the larger answers to the serious questions we have about the Fed involvement here, the pipe bomber, and the larger kind of obfuscating of the truth from the American public, as the corporate media, all in unison, said the same thing. Independent media is the only institution that dared to question this. And I think we have been vindicated. You agree. Sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. We got more videos just for members coming your way, all exclusively here on YouTube.com/WeAreChange. Love you guys.